Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your reading. I pulled out a couple of oracle cards to start. I have pulled out a few Raven Tarot cards, past, present, future, and I'll clarify with the African Tarot and finish off with a crystal oracle for you. I pulled from the Soul's Journey, humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. This makes me feel, in combination with the beautiful gazelle, that you are making something look easy. You're actually making something look fun. And this is very characteristic of you, making the connections, bringing the information, talking about what you're learning with excitement, inspiring others to learn or look for information. This is a really positive momentum. For the gazelle, number 19 may be important to you, and number 19 is the Sun card in the tarot. I'm going to read this from the guidebook. The keywords are grace and agility, associated with Satet, goddess of fertility and the waters of the Nile. The gazelle symbolizes grace, speed, and fertility. Its elegant figure also represents beauty and purity. In everyday life in ancient Egypt, in addition to providing meat for food and skins for clothing, the gazelle is seen as a guarantee of well-being. If it appears, it may be an invitation to be more fluid and adaptable in your actions and interactions with others. Trust your instincts and follow your inner guidance. You're under the protection of higher forces or spiritual guides. The gazelle, being a land animal, symbolizes the connection with nature and the environment, suggesting that you spend more time outdoors and connect with your surroundings. Yeah, the emphasis here is you're making something very monumental seem easy. I feel as though you have put in and invested a lot of energy into what you're creating at this moment. And you may be needing to make a variety of subtle shifts and changes along the way, but you are more than flexible and adaptable to make these changes. You understand that every change is an opportunity to improve the quality of what it is you're creating. In the present, we have the Two of Cups. This is lovely. I'm going to pull the other cards just for some context. We have the Emperor in the past and the Two of Pentacles in the future. I do see you really grounded in this idea that you are not responsible for the information or changes that other people need to make. What you are in control is the changes and the focus that you can maintain and sustain through a very big project, one which apparently has authority over many people, many areas of activity or operation. And so your experience leads you to know exactly how to bring the best out of others. And you do that through lightness, humor, making it look easy, using yourself as a model to make deeper connections, not just superficial ones, but deep connections, and identifying those people who can be working with you along the way, who are aligned with your values, who are aware and competent in their area of strength, their area of gift, and understand how to leverage that in partnership with others so that they are clear about the targets they're reaching. This is very much about a qualitative standard that you want to enforce through your own practice. And this is also having a big impact on the way that you now understand you're capable of moving this project, this idea, this company, this employment further. So this apparently is engaging all that you've learned along the way, but it's also shifting what you're story is, what you've been telling yourself. And my sense is that your story means that you, in some way, have not felt as though you were the leader, that you were the authority in a project, or that you simply were best suited to administer the ideas of others, to implement the ideas of others. But along the way, you recognize that you actually are, your ideas are what have been implemented. Others have traded on your ability to adapt new skills, new information to the project at hand. And that is informing you about the greater possibility of developing this project, this company, this business prospect moving forward. So this is changing the way you are positioning yourself in an effort and the possibilities you see inevitable in their implementation. This is a huge shift, I feel, for you. If this reading is resonating with you so far, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all of you that are present with me in whatever way that you support me. So thank you for that. And now I'm going to clarify, starting with the Emperor. I usually go one card at a time. So this is face up, and this was face down. The Eight of Wands is emphasizing the tremendous speed with which you are recognizing how you can use your partnerships to accomplish your goal. So I see that you have a bona fide collaboration. In fact, that shows me that this is the way that you work. This is the way that you delegate your authority. You create a community of those you're working with, entrusting each member with the same level of responsibility to find solutions, create solutions, and consequently take credit for those. But like the way that you are moving individually through this project, you are moving quickly. You are making connections rapidly. You are pulling out from a lot of experience in this field, in this arena, or in this association of peers, new opportunities along the way. Perhaps you are some kind of event organizer or are responsible for a number of projects that all coalesce into a larger theme. And this is the result, frankly, of your ability to delegate, not delegating in a traditional hierarchical way, but in a way of actually creating a community of peers, of collaborators who all have a more or less equal say in contributing their best contribution, their strength, and collectively taking responsibility for creating solutions together. So this represents, again, a way that you have come to move through your arena of responsibility by drawing in others who can participate in communication, in learning and teaching new skills, new ways of organizing with one another. In the present card, the Two of Cups is clarified by the Queen of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. Wow. I see this often now, and what comes to me is that in finding the way to address your own desires and elevating your own needs to the level of those that you assist, support, and connect with, you have gone through a period of being honest about the impact of unequal opportunities, where you recognize you have not been given a fair shake, or the community that supported you, that you look to. This can be a family. This can be a childhood experience or coming age of experience where not you are no longer choosing that lane of activity. So this is you allowing yourself to define yourself and not being defined by others. You may have grown up in a very rigid or humble background where you were assigned a particular role to play and an expectation of the shoes you would fill in your adult life, and you've recognized that the mentorship, the support you need does not exist for you there. So you are in the process of changing your lane, understanding that you can identify with any number of opportunities available to you, and that still continues to allow you to prioritize your needs and your desires according to your potential. So I see this being instrumental, particularly implemented in the area of the partnerships you choose. You're choosing those who, like you, have self identified themselves on a particular path that you are aligned with, that they are aligned with you. And this is about the change that you are very gracefully and flexibly moving through a number of the expectations of others, backgrounds and experiences of others that are more like this than like what you are proposing. But you do it with a lightness, making it fun, making it seem easy, enjoying it. Choosing how we are all alike rather than how we are all different. And this is really empowering to the people that you're working with. In the future, the Two of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Wow, those really flew out. Well, the King of Cups is really an emblem of this deep partnership and connection that you are making in your life. I think that this is not only your relationship with yourself, but this is also a way in which you are accepting of your gift, your vulnerability, your openness, sensitivity to the needs of others, and yet understanding how going through difficult, particularly emotional challenges has strengthened you, has made you a sensitive leader, but a leader nonetheless. So this is almost, it sounds corny, but leading through love, leading by understanding that there's a level of responsibility you have towards those you're working with. And the reason your model of behavior is so inspirational is that you expose your vulnerability. You weren't always the way you are now. You've had to learn how to give in a way that's appropriate, how to inspire that same ability to contribute from others. The Ten of Swords, clarifying the Two of Pentacles, is interesting because this is a more broad message that everyone, I believe, has been getting in a variety of forms, and that is the effort to close out a difficult past or broken relationships, perhaps an inappropriate expectation of you by others, is an ongoing process. So it isn't that you can never leave the past behind. You can, but you fundamentally understand that you've done your part, fulfilled the obligation to the best of your ability, and yet understand that the process of readjusting what works for you by releasing what has not been working for you is an ongoing process. The 10 indicates change, but we can think of it as a healing spiral, right? There are times when you are ready for a rebirth, but in order to be prepared for that, it takes a while. to release sadness, loneliness, disappointment, failures that you've experienced already. And even when you do release those things, there is a weariness that can go along with that. So as things are speeding up rapidly for you, the connections you're making feel fluid, there's still a certain rawness within you regarding all the people, changes, habits, behaviors you've released, and your ongoing vigilance in making sure that you don't automatically become triggered in those same ways that created really restrictions for you through your own choice. So that feels a little bit complex towards the end, but I think for those of you that are evolving superficially, I mean, the conditions of your life are moving rapidly, indicating that you are prepared to move forward with a lot of clarity. However, to maintain that clarity requires a constant focus around your daily habits and behaviors and words so that you are not uh, creating the same narrative that you perhaps are now releasing in your life. I hope I'm making that clear. And I'm going to finish with a crystal oracle, hoping that this is being helpful for you. And I have pulled the Brazilianite. And the key word is flexibility. I'm flexible and free to be me. I love the consistency of this message, Gemini, which is so fluid and reflective of your natural gifts. So, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, namaste.